Let's start with the headlines. President Tinubu postpones 2025 budget presentation to NAS. Federal government announces free train rides for Nigerians from December 20 to January 5. Ekiti PDP crisis deepens as Fayoshe's loyalists face disqualification from state congresses. A beautiful evening to you. Thanks for joining us on News Express. My name is Michael Jason Ijasan. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has postponed Tuesday scheduled 2025 national budget presentation to both houses of the National Assembly. Recall that the 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget was earlier scheduled to be presented to the legislators, but report within the National Assembly as obtained by newsmen indicates that the presentation has been shifted to Wednesday, 18th December 2024. The reasons for the postponement were not immediately confirmed. The top National Assembly management confirmed that Wednesday's presentation was sacrosanct. The official said a statement to that effect will be officially released later. The Supreme Court has imposed a 5 million naira fine on the former presidential candidate Ambrose Owuru for harassing President Bola Tinubu with frivolous and vexatious suits. Owuru, who contested the 2019 presidential election against former President Muhammadu Buhari on the platform of the Hope Democratic Party HDP, was ordered to pay 5 million naira to Tinubu. Justice Wani Musa Abba-Aji issued the order against the former presidential candidate while dismissing his fresh suit praying for the removal of Tinubu as Nigeria's president. Apart from the 5 million naira fine, the Apex Court ordered its registry not to accept any frivolous suit originating summons from Owuru again. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has revealed that a sum of 3.25 trillion naira was allocated to the defense and security sector in 2024 alone. He said the amount represented 12% of the national budget. Abbas gave the hint on Monday in Abuja at the workshop for security-based committees on non-kinetic strategies to combat insecurity and terrorism in Nigeria. He also revealed that about $16 billion was allocated to defense to tackle insecurity between 2008 and 2018. The Speaker explained that non-kinetic strategies such as diplomatic dialogue, economic empowerment, psychological interventions, and community-based initiatives offer a broad and practical framework for creating sustainable peace. The Defense Headquarters has denied reports stating that the French military was planning to establish a base in Nigeria. In a statement by Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba today said the clarification was necessitated due to reports going the rounds that French soldiers had arrived in the country. Buba urged the general public to disregard the news and speculation still making rounds in some quarters, noting that it is clear that these are the antics of mischief makers. The Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has established a tax reform committee to tackle the challenges of taxation in Nigeria, especially with regard to the 4 proposed tax bills currently undergoing legislation. The committee, chaired by the Senator Ahmed Mohamed McCarthy, former governor of Kaduna State, comprises members with diverse expertise in finance, law, taxation, and economics. Other members of the committee include Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, former Minister of Finance, Dr. Yerima Ngama, former Minister of State, Finance, Joe Kiari Gadzama, SAN, Professor Kabir Isa Dandago, Gambo Hamza, Kabiru M. Ahmed, Maftar Baba Ahmed, Tajuddin A. Dantata, Chris Umar, SAN, Abdullahi Ali Gombe. The federal government has announced a free train ride for any Nigerian wishing to travel to celebrate the Christmas festivities. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made the announcement today while briefing journalists on the outcome of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting. He noted that a free train ride will commence from 28 December to 2024 and end on 5th January 2025. According to Idris, Nigerians can access the train rides on all the routes where train services are currently being rendered. The Nigerian government has renamed the University of Abuja after former military head of state, General Yakubu Gowon. The institution will henceforth be known as Yakubu Gowon University. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris announced the name change shortly after the last Federal Executive Council meeting FEC for the year 2024, chaired by President Bola Tinubu. He explained that the decision was taken in recognition of the enormous contribution of Gowon to national building. Still on education, the Federal University of Oyo-Ekiti, FOYE, has achieved a significant milestone with the National Universities Commission NUC approving 14 new undergraduate and postgraduate programs for the institution. A statement released by the Special Advisor Media to the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Wole Balogun, revealed that according to a letter signed by Mr. Abubakar M. Giriel, Acting Director of Academic Planning on behalf of the Executive Secretary, the Acting Executive Secretary has approved the establishment of the following full-time undergraduate and postgraduate programs to commence at the main campus of the university from the 2024/2025 academic session. The newly approved programs include 3 undergraduate degrees, BNG, Information and Communication Engineering, BNG Software Engineering, and Cyber Security. For postgraduate studies, the approved programs are PGDE Education, PGD Science Education, PGD Criminology and Security Studies, and PGD Educational Management. Additionally, the university will now offer PhD in Science Education and PhD in Criminology and Security Studies, MED and PhD in Business Education, and MED and PhD in Educational Management. To mitigate the effects of climate change in Nigerian society, there is the need to plant trees aggressively, stop chemicalization, and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. This was the take of a climate change expert, Alex Peteru, who featured today on Adamimogo 107.7 FM's Current Affairs follow-up. Peteru also encouraged the use of renewable energy sources such as gas for cooking and the construction of watersheds to prevent the emission of ultraviolet rays from the sun.
Before, in the days of old, even up to now, because of the level of the poverty in the land, right, a lot of people had already resorted into the usage of dried trees, dried branches of trees and forest litters to cook. And when you start using all these things, you know, the soot that goes into the atmosphere is carbonated. So we should start encouraging our people to start not to over-rely on fossil fuels. But if we are going to tell them to start ending over-reliance on fossil fuels, you have to provide alternatives. The only alternative we have in our society as of today is the usage of gas. That is renewable energy.
Despite the gravity of the situation, Peter expressed optimism that climate change will soon have positive effects in Africa and beyond. He attributed this optimism to the tireless efforts of governments and individuals, organizations working to address the issue. As the People's Democratic Party PDP in Ekiti State is gearing up for its state congresses scheduled to hold between January 18 and February 18, 2025, indications have emerged that the loyalists of former Governor Ayodele Fayose and members of the caretaker committee of the party may clash over the planned congresses. According to the chairman of the caretaker committee, Daria Deleke, Fayose's loyalists who have received appointments from the current APC government in the state will be disqualified from participating in the congresses, explaining that the committee is not working with any factions or groups, but rather with members of the party who are willing to unite and work for the success of the Ekiti PDP. Speaking to newsmen, Adeleke noted that aspirants who have collected funds for various offices must submit them by Monday, December 16, 2024, with emphasis that the congresses will be conducted without any distractions and that the committee will ensure a free and fair process. The outcome of the congresses will determine the leadership of the PDP in Ekiti State and may have implications for the party's prospects in future elections. Ondo State APC youths are sued for calm over an attack on the party secretariat by unknown persons during the weekend in Akure, the state capital. Through its leader, Adamimogo, the youth strongly condemned the development, stressing that it goes against democratic principles and party rules. He, however, called for calm and regards the dastardly act of some miscreants that committed the offense. Olalekan urged security agencies to take proactive measures to arrest those responsible and their sponsors. He also debunked allegations against State Chairman Adetime, calling them false and unfounded, assuring that efforts are on the way to apprehend those behind the incident. He described Adetime as a leader who values his followers and loves his people. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, has announced a landmark arrest of a total number of 792 suspects for offenses bordering on cryptocurrency, investment fraud, and romance scam. EFCC's Director of Public Affairs, Wilson Owajaren, who briefed journalists at the Commission's office in Lagos today, said the suspects were apprehended on Tuesday, December 10, 2024, in a surprise operation at their hideout, an imposing 7-story edifice known as Big Leaf Building on number 7 Oyin Jolayemi Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Wajaren said the breakthrough followed actionable intelligence and months of surveillance and monitoring the activities of the syndicate. Among the foreigners arrested are 148 Chinese, 40 Filipinos, 2 Kyrgyzstans, 1 Pakistani, and 1 Indonesian. Up next, business, global, sports, and entertainment news. When we come back from this short break, don't go away.
Top stories, real voices
have arrived in Lagos, according to authorities in Nigeria.
Tune in to Adamimogo 107.7 FM for a fresh perspective on news. Adamimogo 107.7 FM, the voice of the light.
On business news this evening, Nigeria's inflation rate spikes to 34.60% in November amid hardship. Joel Ogwe is standing by.
Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's inflation rate for the month of November 2024 rose to 34.6% from 33.88% in October, indicating worsening hardship for Nigerians. This is according to the National Bureau of Statistics' latest Consumer Price Index and inflation for November. The report showed that the country's headline on all items inflation increased by 0.72% on a month-on-month basis. Also, Nigeria's inflation increased by 6.40% compared to 28.2 3.20% recorded in November 2023. The rise in prices of food items pushed food inflation to 39.93% in November from 39.19% in October. The report also showed that urban and rural inflation stood at 37.10% and 32.27%. Still on business news, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has revealed in its analysis that Nigeria exported 181.62 billion naira worth of electricity from January to September of 2024. According to the breakdown, 58.65 billion naira was exported to Togo, Benin, and Niger Republic in the first quarter of 2024, followed by 63.28 billion naira in the second quarter and 59.69 billion naira in the third quarter. However, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) puts a cap on the electricity exportation to these countries in a bid to boost domestic markets. The regulatory agency directed that power delivery to Nigeria's neighbors must not exceed 6% of total grid electricity at any point in time, stating that since the implementation of the April 2024 supplementary order, the Commission had observed suboptimal grid dispatch operation practices. That is all on business news this evening. I am Joel Ogboe.
Thank you so much, Joel Ogboe, for that. There, up next is foreign news. Jewish Council deeply concerned by Ireland's relationship with Israel. Kende Ayodeji has these and more.
Good evening and welcome to Foreign News. Ireland's Jewish Representative Council chairperson Maurice Cohen is deeply concerned by the deterioration in the relationship between the Republic of Ireland and Israel. Cohen said that the closure of Israel's embassy in Ireland has caused distress for Israeli people in Ireland. Recall, Israel said it will close its embassy in Dublin over the extreme anti-Israel policies of the Irish government. Its Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said the Republic of Ireland had crossed every red line. Still on Foreign News, a second man in his 30s has been arrested after two off-duty Garda Irish police officers were assaulted in Dublin on Saturday morning. One of the Garda in his 40s remained in a critical condition in hospital. The other man was taken to hospital but has since been discharged. The incident happened at the junction of Dame Street and Eustace Street about 1:30 local time on the same day. Garda said the other man in his 30s who was arrested the same day in relation to the incident continues to be detained. And that's all on Foreign News today. Kende Ayodeji is my name.
Thank you so much, Kende Ayodeji. On entertainment news this evening, Chloe Burley, Burna Boy spark dating rumor with Lagos outing. Success. Areola has the story.
Good evening and welcome to Entertainment News. Comedian and actor A.Y. Makun has spoken out about the recent controversy surrounding Netflix's supposed odds in funding Nigerian original films. A.Y. Makun clarified that Netflix is not exiting the Nigerian market, but is likely re-strategizing its approach due to financial concerns. Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people, but Netflix has only about 300,000 subscriptions. Many Nigerians access Netflix content through shared subscriptions rather than purchasing individual subscriptions. A.Y. Makun had a meeting with Netflix recently, and it was never mentioned to him that they were opting out of business in this part of the world. Still on showbiz world, famous US singer and actress Chloe Burley and her Nigerian counterpart Burna Boy has sparked dating rumors on the internet. The duo set the social media abuzz after they were spotted together at a Lagos club. Burley arrived in Nigeria yesterday and was reportedly greeted by a convoy set by Burna Boy. They were later seen getting cozy in a private sector of the club. Their unexpected pairing has sparked a flurry of reactions, with many speculating about the nature of their relationship. However, neither Burley nor Burna Boy has publicly confirmed their relationship status. And that's all on the entertainment news. My name is Success Areola.
Thank you so much, Success Areola. In the world of sports this evening, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will know their group opponents at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations on Wednesday, January 27, 2025. CAF announced the draw date at the end of its executive committee meeting in Marrakesh, Morocco today. The draw ceremony will hold in Rabat, Morocco. Recall the Super Eagles finished second at the last edition of the AFCON. The lost 2-1 to host Côte d'Ivoire, 2-1 in the final. The West Africans will be looking to win a fourth AFCON title in Morocco, with the competition expected to run from Sunday, December 21, 2025 to Sunday, January 18, 2026. And with that sports story, we end the edition of News Express for today on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Idoekiti. But before we go, here again are the highlights. We brought to you that President Bola Tinubu has postponed Tuesday's scheduled 2025 national budget presentation to both houses of the National Assembly. It was in the news that the federal government has announced a free train ride for any Nigerian wishing to travel to celebrate the Christmas festivities. And finally, we reported to you that the chairman of the caretaker committee, Ekiti PDP, Daria Adeleke, Faishe's loyalists who have received appointments from the current APC government in the state, will be disqualified from participating in the congresses, explaining that the committee is not working with any factions or groups, but rather with members of the party who are willing to unite and work for the success of the Ekiti PDP. And that's News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Olojudo's Palace, Ido-Ekiti. On behalf of the production crew, led by Oladonya Yegusi, my name is Michael J.